Good morning, children. Welcome to biology class. Children, we were doing the exercise of the chapter Cell Structure and Function. We have done short answer question type 1, type 2, and I have already sent you the long answer question. Hope you all have done it in your fair notebook. Now, children, today I'll be discussing all the question answers of long answer question along with HOTS, and we'll again revise this chapter quickly to see what is important in this chapter. Okay, so please open your fair notebook. Those who have written the question answers in your fair notebook, so please open your fair notebook, and those who have not written it, please write it down right now. So now I'm going to discuss the long answer question, okay, so that you can revise it and you can learn it very easily, and then we'll quickly revise this chapter once again. Okay, so children, long answer question. Question number 1. So children, I am not writing the questions here because you already have your book, you have the questions, so you can write the questions from the book itself. So I am not writing the question here. There are only answers written. So we'll discuss the answers. Questions are already there in your book. Okay. So let's start with the question number 1. So the question number 1 is, what are the main points of cell theory of life? So children, quickly tell me, who gave cell theory? Yes, children. Who gave cell theory? So cell theory was given by Slidell and Swan, isn't it? Cell theory was given by Slidell and Swan. Children, this is very important. You should remember this name, Slidell and Swan. Okay, they are the scientists who gave cell theory. Alright, and who discovered cell? Robert Hooke discovered cell, isn't it? And who gave cell theory? Slidell and Swan gave cell theory. What was there in the cell theory, children? So in the cell theory, first point was that cell is the basic structural unit of living organism. Why it is called the basic structure of unit of living organism? Because that all the body, all the living organism, be it microorganism, be it humans, be it animals, or be it any aquatic animal or any living species, every living organism is made up of cell. Okay, cells, we know it is divided into two different parts. Organisms are divided into two parts, multicellular and unicellular. चाहे एक सेल हो या एक से ज्यादा सेल हो, it doesn't matter, but जितने भी organisms हैं, जितने भी living organisms हैं, they all are made up of cells, and cell performs different functions in our body, isn't it? All the functions that we perform, like starting from inhaling till formation of energy, till exhaling the carbon dioxide, and all the functions that our organs perform, everything is governed by cell. All the function takes place inside the cell. The organelles that are present inside the cell perform these functions. Okay, that is why Slidell and Swan proposed this first theory, that is, cells are the basic structural unit of life. Okay, that is, all living things are made up of cells, much as a wall is made up of brick. So that I have already explained you. Like to make a wall or to construct a building, small bricks are required. Yes. So like bricks are required to construct a wall, similarly in our body cells play the same role. Okay. So this is the first point, that cell is the basic structural unit of living organism. Hope you have understood it. Now coming on to second cell theory. Second point, all cells are similar in their basic structure and function but are not identical. All cells, children, we have already studied the structure of cell, the basic structure of cell. So the basic structure of cell has a cell membrane, we know. Inside it, we have a nucleus and the fluid that is present all over the cell, that is called cytoplasm. Then we have mitochondria as an organelle. Mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell and it produces energy. Alright, so this is the basic structure of the cell. And why it is called basic structure? Because this pattern of cell is present in all the living organism, be it plant, be it animal, be it microorganism. This cell basic चीजें जैसे कि सेल मेम्ब्रेन हो गया, साइटोप्लाज्म हो गया, न्यूक्लियस हो गया, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया हो गया, ये सारी चीजें हर सेल में प्रेजेंट है, चाहे वो अमीबा क्यों ना हो. अमीबा, we know that it is a unicellular organism. Paramecium is a unicellular organism. Still they are having this basic structure. Okay, and all this basic structure performs the same function in all the cells, all the living organism. Okay, that is why they are called basic structure and function unit of life. But these cells are not identical. ये आइडेंटिकल नहीं होते हैं क्योंकि हमने अमीबा का शेप देखा है. अमीबा का शेप कुछ ऐसा होता है एंड इट इज यूनिसेलुलर. तो यही इसका शेप है, यही सेल का शेप है. गेटिंग इट? It is not necessary that all the cell shape will be like this only. It can be small, it can be large, okay, it can be of any shape. Getting my point? So shapes are different, sizes are different, but the basic function and structure is same in all the cells. That is the second point of cell theory. Moving to the third point, new cells are formed due to division in the old cell. As we have already discussed the cell theories or cell division. So what happens in a cell division? We have an old cell. This is an old cell. Okay. We know that nucleus will divide, cytoplasm will divide and membrane will divide. Okay. And when they will divide, they will form two new cells. This is called cell division, isn't it? This is called cell division. When from an old cell, new cells are formed, this is called cell division. Okay. So the same point Slidden and Swan had also put in their theory that new cells are formed due to division in the old cell. That is cell division. Getting it? Now, fourth point is the organization of cell in the body of a living organism determines its structure. Okay, that we know that when cell combines together, it forms tissue. When tissues combine together, they form organ. When organs are clubbed together in a systematic manner, they form organ system. And this organ system completely form an organism. This we know. Alright. So, the organization of a cell in a body of a living organism determines its structure. It means that जैसा organ बन रहा है, जैसे tissues हैं, वैसा ही organism होगा. Like the internal structure or the arrangement of organs in our body is different than that of a dog. Isn't it? Is also different from that of a microorganism, that is also different from that of any other animal. Getting it? So the way cells or the way organs are arranged in the body, in the same way the structure of the body will be defined. Getting it? So this is the fourth point in a cell theory. So what is the first point, children? First point of a cell theory says that cell is the basic structural unit of all living organism. पहला पॉइंट. दूसरा पॉइंट ये है कि उसमें सेल का जो बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर होता है और फंक्शन होता है वो सब में सेम होता है लेकिन उनकी साइज और स्ट्रक्चर वैरी कर सकते हैं. साइज और उनका शेप वैरी कर सकता है, नॉट स्ट्रक्चर बट शेप. Size and shape can vary. Okay, they are not identical. Now coming on to fifth point, the way an organism functions depends on the way the cell works. क्योंकि हमारी बॉडी सेल की बनी है, तो जैसे सेल काम करेगा वैसे हमारी बॉडी फंक्शन करेगी. Getting it? Like for example, if we are using a red brick to construct a wall, अगर हम रेड कलर का ब्रिक यूज कर रहे हैं वॉल को कंस्ट्रक्ट करने के लिए, so the wall completely will look like red in color. Getting it? If we are using any other color of a brick, then the wall will look like that. And जितनी उस ब्रिक की स्ट्रेंथ होगी उतनी उस वॉल की स्ट्रेंथ होगी. Getting it? In the same way, the function that a one cell in our body is performing is the function that our body performs. Getting it? The amount of energy a cell is generating is the amount of energy that we have in us to perform any work or to do any work. Okay? So this is the fifth point in the cell theory, that the way an organism functions depends on the way the cell works. जैसा सेल काम करता है वैसे ही हमारी बॉडी काम करती है. Okay, so these are the cell theories given by Slidden and Swan. Okay, moving ahead with the next question. Hope you have understood it, children. We have already discussed it in the class when I was explaining you the chapter. Now coming on to the next question. In the next question we have to tell the functions of various organelles. Okay, so what is the second question? Second question is, what are the functions of following in the cells? Cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, chromosome, mitochondria and vacuoles. So we have to tell the functions of all these organelles. Okay, so cell membrane. Yes children, what is the function of a cell membrane? So cell membrane, we know it is the outer covering of a cell. So if it is the outer covering of a cell, so it will protect the cell, first thing. Second, जैसा cell membrane का shape होगा वैसा ही उस cell का shape होगा. ठीक है? जैसे for example, if the cell membrane is like this, so the structure of the cell will be like this same. If the structure of cell membrane is like this, तो उसका भी cell का structure और shape ऐसा ही होगा. Getting it? So cell membrane, first of all, it protects the cell, and second, gives it a shape. क्या करता है उसको? Shape देता है. Second, it allows water, mineral and some other necessary substance to pass through it. Not all. Okay. Cell membrane has a small pores. Okay. It does not allow all the substance to enter inside and all the substance to come out. They select something. Okay. It is selective in nature. कुछ चीजें अंदर आ सकती हैं सेल के, कुछ चीजें बाहर जा सकती हैं सेल के. Not all. And that is why cell membrane is called semi-permeable in nature. It is called semi-permeable, or we can also say it as selective permeable. Selective permeable or semi-permeable means not all the substance will go inside and not all the substance will come outside, but a selective one. ठीक है? जिनकी साइज उतनी हो या उससे छोटी हो या उससे बड़ी हो, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग कुछ चीजें अंदर जा सकती हैं, कुछ चीजें बाहर आ सकती हैं, सारी चीजें अंदर नहीं जा सकती. ओके, सो इट अलाउज वाटर, mineral and some other necessary substance to pass through it. Getting it? Now, so this was the function of cell membrane. Now coming on to cytoplasm. So we know that in a cell, maximum portion is a fluid content that is present inside the cell, and that is called cytoplasm. And cytoplasm is the most important part of the cell, Why? Because all other organelles are present in the cytoplasm. Okay, and rest of the DNA or chromosome and everything, it comes out in the cytoplasm only. Okay, so cytoplasm, it is basically the fluid content that we know. It acts as a store for vital chemical molecules such as amino acids, glucose, vitamins, ions, etc. So children, we know that organelles are present inside the cytoplasm. Organelles are present inside the cytoplasm. All organelles perform certain functions. Okay, some can produce protein, some can release DNA, some can release chromosome. तो जितनी भी चीजें ये ऑर्गेनल, जितने भी फंक्शन ये ऑर्गेनल्स परफॉर्म करते हैं, वो सारी चीजें जाके दिस साइटोप्लाज्म में एम्बेड हो जाती है. जैसे कि एमिनो एसिड. व्हाट इज एमिनो एसिड? Amino acid is the single unit of protein. Amino acid is a single unit of protein. Okay. Glucose is produced in the mitochondria and it gives us energy. Okay. Then vitamins and ions, all these things are present in cytoplasm. Then all life functions takes place in the cytoplasm. How all life functions takes place in the cytoplasm? Because cytoplasm has organelles और organelles ही सारे function करते हैं, इसलिए जितने भी function होते हैं वो cytoplasm में होते हैं. So this is important, children. Now moving to next, we have nucleus. So we know that where is nucleus present? Nucleus present in the major part of the cell, or it may be in the center of the cell. Okay, and nucleus is also called brain of the cell. Why it is called brain of the cell? Because all the function inside the cell is governed from nucleus. Okay, let's see what is written. It controls all metabolic activities of the cell. जितने भी functions हो रहे हैं metabolic activities. Metabolic activities का मतलब ये होता है, metabolic का basically मतलब ये होता है कि वो functions or those activities that will generate energy, that will produce energy, that is called metabolic activities. Or if any activity that is taking place inside the cell, okay, which is a functional activity. So all these activities are controlled by nucleus. It regulates the cell cycle and directs the growth. Now what is cell cycle, children? There is a cell cycle for a growth. क्या होता है कि जब cell division होता है, so right now because you are just getting introduced to the cell division, so I'm not going into much detail of it. We know that one cell is getting divided into two. This is called cell division, isn't it? Okay, it is not that easy कि एक सेल दो पार्ट में डिवाइड हो गया. It is not that easy कि हमने बोल दिया और डिवाइड हो गया. ठीक है, इसके बीच में कई स्टेप्स होते हैं. And these steps of growth from 1 to 2 and 2 to 4 and 4 to 8 like that is performed by a cell cycle. Okay, and this cell cycle is regulated by nucleus and hence the growth take place. So it is a very vast topic, children. When you'll go to further classes, when you'll go to class 10th and 12th and 11th, then you will understand what is cell cycle and how growth takes place. Now, another function of nucleus is it also transmits the hereditary characters. It also transmits the hereditary character. Hereditary character matlab the characters that we are getting from our parents. Okay, like the hair color or the texture of hair or eye color or the anything like a shape of a nose, eyes, mouth, anything that we are getting it from the parents are called hereditary characters, and we generally get it with the help of a gene. Okay, so all the hereditary characters are transferred to the offspring from the parents with the help of a gene, and this is again governed by nucleus of the cell. Okay, now coming on to chromosome. Chromosome is also very important, children. Chromosome, this is the structure of a chromosome. Chromosome carries a hereditary character. It contains a gene inside it. Chromosome has a gene inside it, और gene में क्या होता है, सारे characters होते हैं, ठीक है, and chromosome always occurs in pair. Okay, so chromosome carry genes which contain all the information needed by a cell to function and to reproduce for the cells of the next generation. क्योंकि यही क्रोमोसोम ट्रांसफर होता है पेरेंट से ऑफस्प्रिंग में, ठीक है. Thus gene transfer characteristic from the parent to offspring. तो जीन ट्रांसफर होती है पेरेंट टू ऑफस्प्रिंग. ओके, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया का एक ही फंक्शन होता है, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इज टू जनरेट एनर्जी, is to generate energy, and that is why it is called powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell. This is important, children. Next we have is vacuole. We know that in plant cell vacuoles are large or small, children. In plant cell vacuoles are large, whereas in animal cell vacuoles are either absent or it is very small. Okay, so what is the function of vacuole? They store food, water and waste. They store food, water and waste. Okay, they provide turgidity and rigidity to the plant cell. Turgidity और rigidity क्या होता है बेटा? Turgid मतलब होता है to make it stiff. Okay, turgid means to make it stiff and to withstand its strength. That is called turgidity. Rigidity मतलब कि to make it hard and to make it rigid and stand at the same place. Okay, so this is called turgidity and rigidity of a plant cell. क्योंकि plant cell it cannot move, plant cannot move. Okay, plant needs a strength, so all these things are provided by vacuole by storing food, water and waste. So that was question number 2, children, about the function of various organelles. Hope you have understood it. If not, children, if you have any confusion in any of the organelle, please do ask in the group. I'll explain it to you again so that the concept becomes clear, because in the next class when you go to class 9th again you will study all these things but in much more detail. तो अभी अगर आपका बेसिक क्लियर नहीं होगा तो आप आगे के जो भी कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं आपको क्लियर नहीं होंगे. So please, if you have any doubt, do ask in the group. Now coming on to question number 3. What is question number 3? Question number 3 is, with the help of examples, show the variation in shapes and size of the cell. So children, we know that in a multicellular organism, there are several cells and all the cells have different shapes and sizes and perform different functions. Like, for example, we have nerve cell. Nerve cell is present in brain. तो nerve cell का structure अलग है, उसका काम अलग है. Muscle cells है हमारी बॉडी में, उसका काम अलग है, उसका shape अलग है. Okay. Similarly, we have other cells also in our body which is different in shape and size and performs different functions. Okay. That is why it is said that in a multicellular organism, different organism or there is a variation in shapes and size of cells. Okay, so let's see. Starting with the nerve cell. So nerve cell have fibers that may be more than 1 meter long. Okay, they have a fiber that is more than 1 meter long. So this is the structure of a nerve cell. Okay, this is the structure of a nerve cell. So they have a long thread-like structure, fiber. Okay, this you can see. This is the fiber they are talking about here, that is 1 meter long approximately, and messages passes from one nerve cell to another nerve cell through these fibers. तो जैसे ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ एक नर्व सेल है हमारी ब्रेन में, हमारी ब्रेन में मिलियंस ऑफ नर्व सेल्स हैं एंड there is continuously transfer of signal and messages takes place from one nerve cell to another nerve cell. अभी आप जब पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, आप जब कुछ सोच रहे हो, continuously there is transmission or the transfer of signal from one nerve cell to another nerve cell. Getting it? So this is the function of nerve cell and this is the structure of a nerve cell. Then we have muscle cell. Muscle cells are generally long and thin. Children, muscle cell or cells are also of different types that you will study in higher classes. Okay. So this is a muscle cell. Muscle cell can also be of this shape. This can also be the shape of a muscle cell. But basically muscle का क्या काम होता है? Muscles help in expansion and contraction, isn't it? हम क्या करते हैं? Muscles को expand करते हैं या muscles को contract करते हैं. So this is the main function of muscle cells. So the main function of muscle cells is expansion and contraction. Nerve cell का क्या काम होता है? Messages transfer करना. जब message transfer होता है, then only we react. Okay. Take for example, that is reflex action. आप लोग ने सुना होगा. So what happens, जब भी आप कभी कोई अचानक से गर्म चीज छू लेते हैं तो क्या होता है? We instantly put our hand back. Why? Because there is a signal that is passed in our brain and brain is taking the action. Okay, brain is again sending the signal to put your hand back. Okay, so this is the transfer of the signal that is taking place inside the nerve cell. Okay, and which gives us a message to perform certain functions. So this is muscle cell and nerve cell. Then we have white blood cell. Children, what is white blood cell? So inside of blood, we have three types of cells basically. Blood has three different types of a cell. We have RBC, that is red blood cells. We have WBC, that is white blood cells. And we have platelets. Okay, they are present inside the blood. Red blood cells, because of the presence of red blood cells, our color of blood is red. WBC क्या होता है बेटा? कभी आपको चोट लगती है तो आप लोग के स्किन से व्हाइट कलर का पस निकलता है, देखा है? So that pus or that yellowish fluid that you see is the white blood cells that is present inside the blood. Okay, and this white blood cells acts as a soldier in our body. ये क्या करता है? हमारे बॉडी के अंदर जर्म से और जितने भी एंटीजन बाहर से आ रहे हैं उनसे फाइट करता है. Okay, so it protects our body from various germs. Clear? So white blood cells can change their shape and it helps them to destroy germs. कोई भी germs आ रहे हैं, कोई भी foreign particles हमारी body में आ रहे हैं, उनको kill करने में help करते हैं WBC. Now, last point. Plant cells located on the outer part of the stem. So the plant cell is also having a different shape. Getting it? So these are the diagrams, children. This you will draw in the fair notebook. So this is your cheek cell, amoeba, egg, muscle cell, then we have skin cell, then we have nerve cell. Children, you can see here all these cells are having different shapes and sizes, and the function of all these cells are also different. Okay, so this is the variation in shapes and size of cells in multicellular organism. यूनिसेलुलर में तो एक ही सेल होता है, तो एक ही तरीके का होगा. Now, these are the hot questions, children. Please do write it in your fair notebook and complete your work with diagram. Okay, diagram should be colorful and very neat and needs to be labeled properly. And wherever required, please use the scale and ruler. Don't draw it just like that. I have seen many of the notebooks that you have drawn it just like that without using a ruler and a scale. Okay, so please do your work very neatly and please draw lines after every answer. So that's all for today's class, children. Please do complete your work in your fair notebook, and we have completed this chapter. In the next class, we'll do the activity of this chapter, that is cell structure and function. Okay, so that's all for today's class, children. Thank you and Jai Hind everyone.